Okay, so today we will start with the part of kinematics. So what are the key points in this chapter? ठीक है, এই chapter কি key points আছে আমরা আগে একবার just revise করে নিই. So first we have to remember that the concept of motion and rest যেটা আমরা already বলেছিলাম, we have already discussed this in the theory class. Okay, that an object is said to be in motion. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position in relation to a certain observer, in relation to a certain fixed observer, we can say, with the passage of time. Right? And we also know that an object is said to be at rest if it does not change its position, if it does not change its position with respect to the given observer. अगर वो अपना पोजीशन चेंज नहीं करेगा with respect to जो भी ऑब्जर्वर हमने असाइन किया है with the passage of time, then we say that the body is at rest. And what is the important point in this regard? We must remember that whenever we discuss about motion or rest, the very important basic point that motion and rest are always relative in nature, right? Motion and rest are relative in nature. तार माने ये डिपेंड करेगा कि who is observing, right? It depends on the point of observation by observer. Okay. Next, we know that whenever we discuss about motion, we have to remember about distance and displacement. The next point, let us just revise the meaning of distance and displacement. So distance refers to what? Length of the actual path, length of the actual path covered by the object in a given time interval between 2 points. What is displacement? Net change in position, net change in position of the object, and is measured as what? How do we measure displacement? It is measured as the shortest path length between the given positions in a certain direction. Okay. Secondly, we know that whenever we discuss about distance and displacement, distance is a scalar, whereas displacement is a vector. Distance is path dependent, while displacement is independent of path. And what we know that in general, the distance covered by an object between two given positions will be more than or equal to the magnitude of displacement. Distance covered will be more than or equal to the magnitude of displacement. And also we know that for distance covered to be equal to magnitude of displacement, only if the object moves in a fixed direction. Only if the object moves in a fixed direction. Is that clear? Already we have discussed this point before in the class, just we are summarizing. Is it clear, Acha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, Jeta, we have to remember the points that we must know. That was regarding speed and velocity. Then we will come to the questions also. So remember that when we discuss about the rate of motion, first thing, when we talk about speed, it is the ratio of distance covered to the time taken. Whereas when we talk about velocity, it refers to the displacement of the object per unit time. Once again, you know that speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. Now, we know that for a significantly large time interval, for a significantly अगर टाइम इंटरवल जिसके ऊपर हम लोग मेजरमेंट कर रहे हैं इफ दैट इज लार्ज लाइक अ फ्यू सेकेंड्स और मिनट्स और आवर्स so for a significantly large time interval, when we find out the ratio of total displacement by total time, when we find out the ratio of total displacement by total time taken, that will be equal to average velocity. Whereas if you find the ratio of total distance covered by total time taken, that will be equal to average speed. So remember कि the average speed will be equal to magnitude of average velocity only for motion in a fixed direction. Just like कि distance equal to magnitude of displacement. Same concept is valid. Okay? And if you want to write for motion in one dimension, right? So for motion in one dimension, we write कि average velocity is equal to what? The total change in position, like x2 minus x1 by t2 minus t1, total change in time. What is equal to delta x by delta t? अब geometrically, we know whenever हम लोग change in y coordinate by change in x coordinate लिखते हैं, what does it give us? It gives us the slope of line joining the given points, that is joining the points t1 comma x1, because graph pe time is on the x-axis, position is on the y-axis, and t2 comma x2 on the position time graph, xt graph. On the other hand, if you take the limit delta t tends to 0, तो जो delta x by delta t आएगा, that will be the derivative of x with respect to t, which is known as instantaneous velocity. This is known as instantaneous velocity. And instantaneous velocity or dx dt basically geometrically is what? It is the slope of the tangent to position time or displacement time curve at the given instant, जिसको हम लोग slope of the curve भी बोल सकते हैं. तो what means that if xt is a straight line, अगर position versus time या displacement versus time graph अगर straight line है, which is inclined to time axis, not parallel to it, then obviously we can say that v will be constant, क्योंकि straight line मतलब constant slope होता है, and this indicates what is known as uniform motion. तो यूनिफॉर्म मोशन का मतलब क्या है कि the object has a constant velocity in magnitude as well as in direction. मतलब it will have equal displacements in equal intervals of time. ठीक है. On the other hand, if x versus t is a curve, right, it implies v is not constant, velocity is not constant, then we will have something called non-uniform motion, right? Now, secondly, as v is dx dt, as velocity is rate of change of position, that means dx will be v dt. That means अगर small time dt में उसका displacement dx है, तो how dx and v are related? Dx is v dt. So we can say that net displacement in time interval, say t1 to t2, will be given by what? It will be equal to integration of v dt from t1 to t2. That will be equal to our total displacement. And this geometrically is what? Area under velocity time graph bounded by the time axis या x axis, जो भी बोलो, ठीक है, from the time t1 to the time t2. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if the motion is in fixed direction, if the motion is in fixed direction, then we can say that distance covered will also be equal to integration of v dt from t1 to t2, but its modulus. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर वेलोसिटी पॉजिटिव है तो एरिया अंडर द ग्राफ या इंटीग्रेशन पॉजिटिव आएगा, डिस्टेंस पॉजिटिव आएगा. और अगर v नेगेटिव है, इफ द वेलोसिटी इज इन द नेगेटिव डायरेक्शन, okay, then also the length of the path या distance will be positive. That is why. ठीक है. Now, if the direction of motion changes in course of time, then we can say distance covered in say 0 to t seconds will be equal to what? integration of v dt from 0 to t0 plus mod of integration t0 to t v dt, right? If velocity is positive for time 0 to t0, okay, and v is negative for time t0 to t. इज दैट क्लियर? मतलब जिस टाइम में वेलोसिटी नेगेटिव रहेगा जिस टाइम इंटरवल के लिए, फॉर दैट टाइम इंटरवल डिस्टेंस निकालने के लिए वी हैव टू टेक मॉड्यूलस ऑफ इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ वी डी टी या मॉड्यूलस ऑफ द एरिया अंडर द ग्राफ. इज दैट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
ओके, तो लेट अस ट्राई आउट सम प्रॉब्लम्स बेस्ड ऑन दिस पार्ट. उसके बाद हम लोग नेक्स्ट पॉइंट को डिस्कस करेंगे. तो लेट अस फर्स्ट डिस्कस अ फ्यू प्रॉब्लम्स व्हिच आर बेस्ड ऑन दिस बेसिक पार्ट, that is distance, displacement, speed and velocity and their relationship. Okay, so the question I am taking, let's try out this question first. So the question that we have, what is the question? Ki the position of a particle, sorry, the instantaneous velocity of a particle, the instantaneous velocity of a particle moving in a straight line is given as moving in a straight line is given as v equals to alpha t, v equals to alpha t plus beta t square, where alpha and beta are constants, where alpha and beta are constants. The question is the distance traveled by the particle, the distance traveled by the particle between 1 second and 2 seconds is between 1 second and 2 seconds is, first option is 3 alpha plus 7 beta. Second option is 3 alpha by 2 plus 7 beta by 3. Third option, alpha by 2 plus beta by 3. And fourth option is 3 alpha by 2 plus 7 beta by 2. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन कहाँ आया था? दिस क्वेश्चन केम इन JEE Mains 2021. तो कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? हाउ टू सॉल्व इट? तो वेरी सिंपल आइडिया. व्हाट इज द आइडिया? कि यहाँ पे सबसे पहले हमें डिस्टेंस निकालना है क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से. एंड यू नो कि फॉर फाइंडिंग आउट डिस्टेंस, इफ इट इज मूविंग इन अ स्ट्रेट लाइन, इफ इट इज मूविंग इन अ फिक्स डायरेक्शन, तो क्या होगा कि डिस्टेंस कवर्ड एंड मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज सेम. और उसके लिए मैंने क्या बताया? फर्स्ट चेक करना है कि क्या डायरेक्शन इज चेंजिंग इन द कोर्स ऑफ मोशन और इट इज फिक्स्ड. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं हम लोग कि जो डायरेक्शन है वो फिक्स्ड है, क्योंकि द साइन बिटवीन द टू टर्म्स t एंड t स्क्वायर इज पॉजिटिव. मतलब हमेशा द वेलोसिटी विल रिमेन positive in the same direction only. So as it is same direction, as the direction is not changing in between, so automatically what we can say, ठीक है, automatically we can say कि our uh, distance covered will be same as the magnitude of displacement. Okay, our distance covered will be, just a second, same as the magnitude of displacement. Okay, so simply we can say that here our distance covered will be same as the magnitude of displacement. और वो कितना होता है? It is integration of v dt from t1 to t2. तो t1 is 1 second, t2 is 2 second. Clear हुआ? Yes or no? Hello, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
तो alpha v is alpha t plus beta t square dt from 1 to 2. So now just simplify this. So how to do the integration we know. First क्या करना है? Separate the terms. तो alpha t dt from 1 to 2 and then integration beta t square dt from 1 to 2. But alpha is constant. তাই তো? Integration of t dt কি হয়? T square by 2. Limits will be 1 to 2. Beta is constant. Integration of t square dt কি হয়? T cube by 3. Limits are 1 to 2. Simplify this. So alpha into 2 square by 2 minus 1 square by 2. Beta into 2 cube by 3 minus 1 cube by 3. So what is the result? Alpha into 4 by 2, that is 2, minus half. So that will give us 3 by 2. And beta into 2 cube 8 minus 1 minus 7. So 7 beta by 3. So distance covered is 3 alpha by 2 plus 7 beta by 3. That is option number B. Clear?
Yes, sir.
বুঝা গেল এটা? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Acha. So the next one. Next question. Next question is two cars P and Q. Two cars P and Q start from a point at the same time and their positions are represented by and their positions are represented by xp as a function of time. xp bracket t मतलब क्या है कि xp as a function of time, position at time t, that is equal to at plus bt square, and xq at the same time t is given as ft minus t square. The question is, at what time do the cars have the same velocity? At what time do the cars have the same velocity? ঠিক আছে? Options are, first option is a plus f divided by twice of 1 plus b. Second option is f minus a divided by twice of 1 plus b. Third option is a minus f by 1 plus b. And fourth option is a plus f divided by twice of b minus 1. So this is the question from NEET 2016 as well as JEE Mains 2022. ঠিক আছে? So obviously it is an important question because it is asked in JEE Mains as well as NEET. So how to solve it? কিভাবে solve করব? So very simple idea, see. Position is given. We have to find that when do they have same velocity. এবার already मैंने क्या बताया था कि velocity if not mentioned it means what? Instantaneous velocity. ताई तो velocity means we have to find instantaneous velocity. तो हमें ये निकालना है कि at which value of t v of p and v of q will be same. So we can say that according to the question, at the required time t, at the required instant of time t, velocity of p must be same as velocity of q. Yes or no? Velocity of p must be same as velocity of q. तो टेल मी हाउ डू वी फाइंड आउट, हम लोग कैसे पोजीशन से वेलोसिटी निकालेंगे? हाउ डू वी फाइंड आउट v फ्रॉम x? टेल मी, पोजीशन से वेलोसिटी कैसे निकालते हैं? কি করে বার করব? हेलो, हाउ डू वी फाइंड आउट velocity v from position? x is given, velocity has to be found. কি করে ফাইন্ড করব? Hello. See, very simple. We know that velocity is equal to rate of change of position dx dt. তাই তো? Velocity is rate of change of position dx dt. তাহলে vp কি হবে? Derivative of xp with respect to time. And vq क्या होगा? Derivative of xq with respect to time. ठीक है? Now what was xp? at plus bt square. So this will be derivative of at plus bt square. And xq was ft minus t square. So this will be derivative of ft minus t square. ठीक है? Now find the derivative and solve it. So this will be a constant derivative of t plus b constant derivative of t square equals to f constant derivative of t minus derivative of t square. Right, Shayan, why are you late? Okay, to simplify, a derivative of t is 1, b derivative of t square is 2t, f derivative of t is 1, minus derivative of t square is 2t. So what do we get? We get a plus 2bt equals to f minus 2t. তাহলে bring t terms together, তাহলে কি পাবো? 2b plus 2t equals to f minus a. That means t will be f minus a by 2b plus 2, or if you take 2 common, so 2 into b plus 1. So this will be the required time, and you can see this is option number B. ঠিক আছে Shayan, please check the question once again. So question টা কি আছে? Question is very simple, ki two cars start from a point, they are moving on a straight path, straight line. We are discussing about kinematics, ঠিক আছে? So their positions are given as what? Position of P is AT plus BT square, position of Q is FT minus T square. तो हमें क्या निकालना है कि किस टाइम पे दोनों का वेलोसिटी सेम होगा. तो ऑब्वियसली हम लोग क्या मीन करते हैं कि किस टाइम पे, मतलब एट विच इंस्टेंट, एंड वेलोसिटी सेम होगा मींस Vp will be equal to Vq. Now how do we calculate velocity from position? How do we calculate V from x? Obviously by derivative. ठीक है, हमें पता है कि velocity is dx dt. तो derivative of x at P and derivative of x of Q will be equal. So now find the derivatives and equate them. You will get the required time t. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the next question that we have, everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
So the next question that we have, क्या question है देखो, next question is कि a car moves along a straight line. A car moves along a straight line, whose equation of motion is given by, whose equation of motion is given by s equals to 12t plus 3t square minus 2t cube. ঠিক আছে, 12t plus 3t square minus t cube, where s is in meter, where s is in meter and t is in second. The question key, the velocity of the car at the start, the velocity of the car at the start will be, at the start means which moment? Tell me. At the start means which moment? Starting means which point of time, which instant of time? Hello? Yes. Starting মানে which point of time? Starting moment কে আমরা কোন point of time ধরি?
Initial.
Initial কত? Which value will be considered? যে moment start হলো, the moment that we start our timer, what is that moment taken as?
1.
Not 1. 0. ঠিক আছে, the moment we start the timer, that moment is 0. ঠিক আছে, initial
So,
origin.
but 0 would be rest.
Hello?
So, if we consider 0, then the body would be at rest.
No. If you consider the time 0, the body may not be at rest. মানে যখন আমি দেখা শুরু করলাম, the object was already in motion. এটাও হতে পারে. We don't know. So we have to find out the velocity at t equal to 0 and s is given in meter. তার মানে s টা কি? S is position বা displacement. তাই তো? So how do we find out position velocity from position or displacement? So you know that v will be equal to key ds dt, right? So find out the derivative d dt of 12t plus 3t square minus 2t cube. Find it out and then substitute t equal to 0 because we want velocity of the car at the start. ঠিক আছে? Find it out. The meeting is going to end, so please rejoin using the same link. ঠিক আছে? Same link এ rejoin কর সবাই. Same link.